Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is the game I tell everyone is the best in the Assassin's Creed series, and I've been saying this for years. It turns out that most of the positive things I attributed to it were actually in Assassin's Creed 2, so that's fun. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is clearly where the series starts to get extremely frustrating. Instead of unique, complete it any way you like assassination targets, we get tailing missions that end with an occasional assassination. And instead of intricate parkour missions that are actually puzzles, we get tailing missions while doing parkour. Because the parkour mostly takes place on giant set pieces where they want you to climb specific parts of buildings at specific times, it's extremely frustrating, and I haven't sworn so much at a game in a long time. The jump and grab skill we learn in Assassin's Creed 2 is basically forgotten here. At the beginning of the game, it's the classic hero gets injured and loses all their abilities and gear, but because relearning the jump and grab ledge button is optional, there's absolutely no mission where you benefit from having the skill, and parkour is very linear. In the second game, you learn the jump and grab skill as part of the main mission, but here you just go visit an old Da Vinci if you want, and he'll give you upgrades like he's selling you drugs. The game opens with Ezio returning from letting Rodrigo Borgia go at the end of the last game, and he's back with his family in Monteriggioni, the place I lovingly repaired in the second game. It sure would suck if someone blew it to pieces.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Do you know how much money I spent fixing this place? Not only is my beloved house destroyed, but my favourite uncle is killed right off the bat. Turns out letting Rodrigo Borgia go was a bad idea because now they've got the Apple of Eden back after like 24 hours. Rodrigo's creepy children, Cesare and Lucretia, turn up and cackle a bit, and we decide we need to kill Borgia after all. Jesus Christ, did the younger version of me who loved this game have no thoughts on them desecrating the message of the last game that is letting go of the cycle of revenge? No? Okay. Desmond and the modern-day assassins, meanwhile, decide to make a base in the crypt of Monteriggioni, hoping to follow in Ezio's shadow and see where he hid the Apple of Eden. Unlike the last game, which had many different regions, this game takes place entirely in Rome. This makes sense as this game is also shorter than the last game with 9 sequences compared to 14. It feels more like a DLC to game number 2 than a game in its own right, which is why this video is also shorter. Rome is okay, not my favourite Assassin's Creed location, but it gets the job done. Unless you like to parkour and then it doesn't get the job done very much at all. Parkouring across Rome doesn't feel good and it doesn't feel like it was built with it in mind. Which is strange because I feel like they fixed the leaping backwards and grabbing the edge move. So why haven't they made parkour the centre of this game? I often found myself leaping from the top of buildings to the ground when I was trying to jump from roof to roof because Rome doesn't feel as fluid as the cities of the previous game. As Rome is bigger, assets seem to be reused at a more noticeable rate than the last game too. I don't know if it would have been worth them removing some of the map to the east and refining it more. The game centres around building up the assassins as an organisation rather than chasing down specific targets. Instead of taking out key contacts, we're going to recruit new members and we're going to undertake tasks that weaken Borgia power, like infiltrating a base, taking out a leader and burning the tower. I have no idea if this is where the Ubisoft formula originates from, but infiltrate and burn a tower will be Ubisoft's next 20 games. My favourite mission is one where we infiltrate the Borgia Palace, hoping to assassinate Rodrigo, who turns out isn't there, but we end up rescuing Caterina Sforza from the first game by kidnapping Lucretia Borgia. Lucretia is an interesting villain in the story, and we get to empathise with her way more than her brother and father, who barely say a word the whole game. To build up the assassins, we need to recruit people we rescue and send them on contracts to upgrade their gear and skills. You can then call them into battle or to sneakily assassinate someone for you without even getting your hands dirty. The contracts are in real life time, so if you need to send someone off for 20 minutes, then you have to wait for them to come back, and they won't be available for 20 minutes of your real life time. This doesn't even count if you turn the console off. You have to be there in-game, and the console can't be asleep. Instead of building up a mansion in the countryside, RIP Monteriggioni, this game involves us buying the whole of Rome. The Colosseum? I own that. The Pantheon? That's mine now. Unless they need it to be a Templar base, in which case it's off limits and you'll be attacked on sight. I own the deed. Get off my property. Sequence 8 and 9 caused me to rage, the hardest I've raged at a game in years. We infiltrate the palace of Rodrigo, where we find Cesare choking him with an apple, hoping he'll reveal the location of the Apple of Eden. Poetic. Lucretia tells him in hope he'll stop his rampage, and she also tells Ezio because she is so done with her brother being jealous and killing all her husbands. Ezio chases him across Rome in the most bafflingly designed mission of the series so far. Enemies miles away detect and chase you as you run across the city in a race against the clock. Hiding doesn't make them go away. There's 50 of them, so you can't fight. So I turned up at the location with over a minute to spare, being told I have to be anonymous. How? I think I just stumbled through this by luck. Ezio gets the Apple of Eden, and this is where it truly goes off the rails. We can no longer defend ourselves with weapons, heal ourselves, or use equipment. All we can do now is use the apple to auto-kill any enemy who attacks. But the enemies take 50 years to attack, so I stood there waiting and pressing X. Fun! This course continues as we join a big battle once again, only holding the apple and no other weapon. So I just stood around waiting for someone to attack me instead of each other, which they rarely did. This is it, my grand heroic assassin moment, just standing there holding an apple for 5 minutes. The fight with Cesare is also not fun. For some reason I didn't have my sword, so I had to fight with a knife and shoot people when I could. The story overall is just a bit of a mess at the end because we arrested Cesare and then he somehow escaped, which is revealed in a codex entry and not in the actual game. Just like in Assassin's Creed 2, they were clearly in a major rush to get this game out. Back in the present, and we now know where Ezio hid the apple. We parkour through the Colosseum in modern day and then run through a church and then in a futuristic basement where Juno talks to us. Lucy, Sean and Rebecca are useless as we do all the work. Juno rambles on until we find the apple and Desmond picks it up only for time to pause and Desmond to lose control of his body. Juno is like, yeah, you should probably kill Lucy, but I ain't saying why. So Desmond stabs the heck out of Lucy and they both drop to the floor. Poor Sean and Rebecca, honestly.
I like the ceiling.
Do you like the ceiling? Oh, you are a fascinating travelling companion.
So it turns out Lucy is probably a triple agent. She's actually a Templar, not an assassin pretending to be a Templar. She is a Templar pretending to be an assassin who is pretending to be a Templar. And that's the end of Brotherhood. I'm kind of disappointed. You're not really an assassin in this game so much as a stalker following people around Rome. From here, it will take Ubisoft 6 years to realise tailing missions aren't fun and are in fact boring at their best and frustrating and game-ending at their worst. I didn't feel connected with any of the members of the Brotherhood like Volpe or Machiavelli. Ezio's mother and sister got a chance to shine, which was nice. Claudia went from balancing the books at Monteriggioni, R.I.P., to running a brothel, and she shines at stabbing rich old men for their secrets. Revelations is next, and I DNF'd this game back in the day for a mission not unlike the final mission of this game, so I'm excited to see if I was just being dramatic or if it really was that bad. For the rankings, Assassin's Creed 2 reigns supreme, then this game, then the first game, but honestly it's kind of tight between those two. What do you think? Is Brotherhood the game you remember? Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.